Oh, hi, listener. I didn't see you sitting there. Sorry, I do it at least once. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our regular episode of The Wayward Dragons.
Yes.
I forgot the name of the podcast for a second. Uh,
It's
I,
early still.
yeah, I'm not.
And I'm Kelsey. And welcome to our normal meat and potatoes episode. Welcome. Welcome.
So yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, guys. This is episode 37,
Yes.
and today we're going to be talking about familiars and
Yeah.
how they're different from other animal stuff, how you can find your own, how to work with your familiar, and all that stuff.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so I want to start off by saying that this is partially research based on stuff research I've done and then personal experience here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any sources that say otherwise, feel free to email them in to us. Uh,
Yeah.
our email is thewaywarddragons@gmail.com. I'm a huge freaking research nerd and just nerd in general.
Yes.
And enjoy reading and listening to audiobooks. Which, if you've listened to our review episodes, you'll know that I go through way too many books.
Yes.
Which is not as bad. I have a friend whose goal every year is like 150 books.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's like 3 times what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, my target, it's like twice as much as what I do. But
Yeah, this is true.
I
This
will
is true.
be expanding outside of Witchcraft and Wicca a little bit. So, stay tuned if you want to learn something. If
Yes.
not, why are you here?
To hear us. To
It's
learn
my
stuff.
sultry, nasally voice today.
Yes.
So, yeah, I apologize for that. I am dealing with some kind of head cold or sinuses, but we're gonna push through.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure we continue to give content out on a regular basis.
Yes. Even when one of us is dying.
It's always one of us.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Last week it was me. Now it's your turn.
We'll have an episode at some point where neither one of us is dying, hopefully. But
Who knows?
so what?
Continue.
So what is a familiar? Well, to be put simply, it's a creature or other than oneself that acts as a companion to the practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
This is typically an animal, most often depicted as a cat, a reptile, a bat, amphibian. You get like frogs and stuff. This is not your pet.
No.
That being said, it's it's totally okay for you to spoil your familiar with gifts and stuff. They like offerings just like anyone else, anything else. Familiars typically have a physical form, and in my experience, you are bonded with it on a different type of level.
Yeah.
Most often, they pick you, you don't pick your familiar. The word is based off of European folklore, but there are similar creatures and beings found globally. They are said to be supernatural spirits that help practitioners in their practices and everyday life in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
According to Abrahamic folks and folklore and tales and all that, these are lower level demons that were given to witches by the Prince of Darkness himself. But that they're often believed to take the form of black cats. This is part of the
Mm-hmm.
reason why, and during the witch trials, they murdered so many black cats and so many cats in general, which ended up leading to the Black Plague,
Mm-hmm.
which took out like 2/3 or a third of the world's population, or
It was a crazy amount.
ridiculous number. So hey guys,
Let's not do
let's
that.
not be dicks and kill animals for no reason because of our prejudice.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure why I decided to spell cats with an E at the end.
I don't know either. I just thought it was a weird
Sorry.
autocorrect thing that happened. I knew
No,
what you were trying to say, so I just left
I
it.
don't. This is why so many people dislike black cats. Yes, people dislike black cats
Yep.
because they are black.
Yep.
Not so much a fun fact. Black cats, still to this day, are adopted less often than any other type of cat and are abused more often than any other domesticated animal because of this.
Yep. Same with black dogs. Same thing happens.
To get into a little story about the familiar that chose me. So if you guys look at our little icon, picture, image on whatever you're listening to us, there's a little black cat that I believe it's setting on the black dragon's head.
I was like, I think both of them are on our heads.
Okay,
I think so.
it's been a little while since I've looked at it, not gonna lie. So this is Jinx. So Jinx adopted me.
Yeah.
I love telling the story, and we'll do so now because it's a fun story and kind of cute. Well, so I'll tell the shortened version. So on a Friday after work, my sister messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want to go look at cats at the pet store after you get off work?" I guess it was still at work. Anyways, I was, she was like, I was getting there, earlier, getting some stuff for the dogs because she's got little annoying yapping quote unquote dogs. They're like giant rats. They're Chihuahua Miniature Dachshund mixes, and they are like super freaking high strung and annoying as heck.
Side note, I think it's very funny. The most vicious dogs are actually not pit bulls.
Yeah,
It
they're
is
Chihuahuas.
it is chihuahuas and dachshunds, folks.
Yet they bite more people every year
Than pit
than
bulls.
any other breed of dog.
Just saying. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so she was there. You're good. So she was there, and she was getting stuff for the dogs, and she said something pulled her to look at the cats,
Mm-hmm.
and she thought that I should meet one of them. It was like, so I was like, I don't really think we need a cat, but sure. So we went to the pet store because it was her and her partner that were there. We went
Mm-hmm.
to the pet store, and the pet store actually did something really cool that I've yet to encounter another pet store that does this, but I'm sure there are other ones. They actually adopt through the local humane society.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the adoption animals they have there, they do have like some puppies and kittens, but the majority of what they have there are rescues.
Yeah.
So I went, met the cat, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's a sweet cat, but you know, again, I don't think we really need a cat. They had the cat's name was Onyx, and I was just like, this cat doesn't really feel like an Onyx, but there's no need if you get a cat. And like she was so freaking sweet, but like yeah, there's no reason to take the cat home. We don't need a cat at home.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, no, that's great, but there's no reason to have a cat. So I noticed a little placard on the kennel I had her in, and
Yeah.
it had a date on it. And I was like, oh, what's this date for? Because it's on a Friday. The date was Monday. The lady's like, oh, yeah, if she's not adopted, if nobody picks her up or anything, then she's going to get put down on Monday. So, needless to say, the cat ended up coming home with us.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the cat's name was Onyx, but that did not fit. And I took to referring to her as Jinx, and the whole family agreed. And cat seemed to respond to it way more than it responded to Onyx. Obviously, the cat was speaking to me, saying, "Yo, this is my name, dude. Like,
It's my
my
name.
name's not Onyx. I'm not a stone. I'm a tricksy little creature,"
Which fits.
which makes sense with this cat. The cat, took a huge liking to me, would not leave me alone, decided to come up and like purr loudly in my ear at night. Anytime I was doing any sort of magical workings, she would be right there. So, that's how I got adopted by a familiar.
Yeah.
And she's always there anytime I'm doing any sort of magical working. She's lending energy to the magical working. She's extremely attentive. If I'm meditating, she'll come and actually sit down on my lap, or depending on the type of meditation, if it's one for laying, like that you're supposed to lay down, she'll lay down on top of me. If I'm not feeling great, she'll be right there, like cuddled up to me, trying to do her best to make sure I'm doing better. I've had times where I wasn't doing the best health wise, and she was right there.
Yep.
So, that's Jinx. That's familiar that I apparently have been blessed with.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
sometimes I get blessed with getting pawed in the face first thing in the morning because, you know, she wants attention or wants treats or something.
Yeah.
And it's
Mm-mm.
it's great when I actually get a day off and I get, it gets done to me. Best thing in the world. Best way to wake up is getting like
Yeah.
something. She also likes to pet my beard,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun and weird. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. The cat's she's a
Yeah.
mess.
I was like, Twitch does that with my fiance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any
Um,
stories to share, anything like that?
like out of all of the animals that I have in my home, Apollo, I guess you could classify as my familiar. He's my little shadow that literally follows me everywhere. When Before I moved in with my fiance, I had my own home, and my cousin lived with me, and he came with a cat and a dog when he came to live with me, and I told him, because my dog does not. This is how we found out that Oreo does not get along with others, unfortunately. So I said, I'll keep your cat, but you and the dog at least has to go because I'm not risking myself and my dog because of this. So that's how I got Apollo, the lovely orange cat that's on top of the other dragon in our podcast icon. Um, but I mean, he's always just followed me around. Like, he's not in the room right now, but he was when we were recording our book reviews. He was just like all up on my lap, trying to. He was behind my computer, like, and he does this every time I'm trying to edit. I'm trying to do stuff for the wedding. Um, constant, constant laying on me and stuff like that. I never pee or go to the bathroom alone. He's always with me 24/7. Um and he's just like every orange cat. He's super ornery. He sings the song of his people all the time, and he's loud. He is so loud. But I guess you could qualify, like, call Apollo. I don't really call him my familiar. I just call him my little shadow. But no, I out of all the cats that I have, because I do have a black cat as well. His name is Salem, but he hides. He likes to not be around people at all. He likes Oreo. Like, they sleep together. That's their little cuddle buddies. But Apollo's like my cat. Like, follows me everywhere, sits on my lap, sleeps on my chest, like all that stuff. Everybody else is wants nothing to do with me. So, which is fine. Like, but I would qualify Apollo as being more of a possible familiar. I don't know. I acquired him from my cousin, and here we are.
Well, and that's the thing with like familiars is that it's not a pet that you. I mean, it can be, but it's not a pet that you can go and grab from wherever.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, hey, I'm gonna jumping ahead in my notes a bit, but it's not like a person could say, hey, I've decided that my dog, cat, hamster, whatever is gonna be my familiar. They choose you,
Mhm.
and whether you're reluctant or whether you don't want to deal with it, try to get rid of them, or you try to push back against it, you can't do that.
No.
They choose you, you're stuck with them, that's what you've got.
Yep.
That being said, there are familiars out there that are not physical animals that some people do with like certain spirit working or certain other things, other practices that can appear as an animal. but typically that's very rare. Typically, it's you know something you would see as or what you would see as a pet, something to kind of take up space in your home, and
Yeah.
otherwise you're looking at more so spirit animals. They're like this I see this I don't know chickens everywhere. I yeah, I pull a random animal. Leave me alone. So you see chickens everywhere. So you know obviously chickens are my familiar. And it's like no, chicken would be your spirit animal,
Yes.
and like you could resonate with the chicken.
Yes.
Chicken's probably a bad choice because now I'm just like my brain's
They
going
are
weird places.
fearless, though.
I mean, you can have a chicken as a familiar. That's all fine.
Like,
Not saying that's not possible, but it's
yeah.
not just like some animal that you see everywhere. That's not what a
Yes.
familiar is.
Yes.
If you see stags everywhere, and you see like if you're feeling a certain way and you see a stag on the side of the road or in some sort of imagery and you feel better, you know something's gonna happen and you notice like patterns and stuff. That's not what a familiar is. A familiar is
Mm-mm.
a being that is there to help you with your practices and help you with, you know, what you're learning and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of confusion between the two. At least
Right.
that's what I see, like, when I lurk on Reddit all the time. I feel like there's, like, some confusion between what is considered a familiar and then a spirit animal and then just a pet in general. Not every
Well,
familiar is a pet. Not every pet is familiar.
right. And we'll take it and we'll kind of go into, spirit animals and like land spirits and animal totems and add
Yeah.
spirit guardians and all that a little bit in the next episode.
Yes.
But yeah, they're all very different things. I understand where people can be confused, and I understand there can be some crossover,
Yes.
but it's very seldom.
Yeah.
And of course, we all want to feel special, so you're gonna have a lot of people who are like, "Well, it is for me, so I'm just that rare case," and it's like, not to be a dick, but you're probably not.
Yeah.
Like we're all special, but uh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
probably nothing special about you know you that gives you this that hardly anyone else has. There, like I said, there are certain like practices you can do and have different types of familiars that aren't animals,
Yes.
but that's a lot of different spell work going into different traditions that I myself, while I am fairly knowledgeable in a lot of things, I'm not overly knowledgeable on a lot of those traditions to where I can speak to that. But if that is
Yeah.
something you're looking for, I would say delve into it, but be wary because if you're gonna have like a sort of other spirit that is going to be your familiar that you're reaching out for,
Yeah.
you know the Fae, while are amazing, can be
Yes.
fickle.
Yes.
Demons and angels both have positive and negative aspects to them, so watch yourself there.
Yes.
But there's endless possibilities out there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, you know, you could easily give it a try and do your own research on that. I do not have enough understanding of those traditions to really speak clearly on those things. I would say, you know, if you think you're ready for familiar, put that energy out there. Put that, do a spell to kind of bring in a familiar and don't just assume that the first thing that comes up to you is your familiar.
Correct.
You know, you'll know.
Oh, yeah.
You'll know in your heart when you have that connection. You'll feel it.
Yeah. That's why I'm not positive about Apollo. Apollo's just always been glued to my hip way before I started this journey. He's just always been my little buddy.
Yeah.
Always.
And I mean, there's other possibilities too, but with like what it could be, that spirit of someone who's passed on from your life that's like
Yeah.
there to look after you, or numerous other things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's more than one.
Most of all, though, be thankful. This is a fairly simple thing, but you should always be thankful to all those who help you and stuff. Not just your familiars,
Mm-hmm.
but any other spirits that you work with, your spiritual team. But yes, give thanks to your familiar and give them
Yes.
all the love, and you know make sure you show them appreciation. I know
Yes.
mine loves getting treats daily,
Yes.
but you know what? She deserves treats.
Yes,
She's
she does.
helped me in some pretty low and tough times, and she's a spoiled little princess, but she deserves it.
Yeah.
So, to make sure you're giving things.
Oh yeah. Always.
So that brings us to our card readings for our bi-weekly card reading.
Yeah.
Did you get a cup?
No, I got the High Priestess.
I did not get a cup either.
What?
So, for new listeners, this is the first time since we've been doing this that neither one of us got cups.
That's crazy. Yeah, normally one of us pulls cups. Last time it was you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I got the High Priestess. She's about intuition, unconsciousness, and your inner voice. So the High Priestess is the guardian of the inner world where the night reigns and the unconscious holds sway of your actions. She beckons you into the world within, for she wishes you to understand yourself, your true self, and not just the face that we present to the world outside us. She initiates you on your journey, on your inner journey, and knows that your answers are hidden within. Follow your intuition. She will not lead you astray. So what'd you get?
I got the Queen of Discs.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of information on this. Uh, so the Queen of Discs represents prosperity and security. She suggests that you have worked hard to generate a level of financial and or physical security, which in turn gives you the ability to be generous with others, and to have your wealth and prosperity with those you love.
Okay.
So, what that means is I done good.
Yeah.
Basically, it means that I've worked my ass off to get to where I'm at, and I need to share that with those around me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and take some me time.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've shared this with you, my grief journey with my grandma and this whole wedding thing. Um, there's a lot of inner things that are going on. Um, for me, I'm coming to a lot of realizations, and I've kind of hit a point in my life. My my wedding is going to mean a lot of different things to me. Um, and saying goodbye to a lot of toxic people is definitely something. Um, because it gets hard to you constantly feel like you're going back and forth, and you have to stay what's best for you, because I've worked hard to get to this point for myself.
Yeah.
It has not been a fun journey. um my stepmom even said, she's like, I'm because we were talking about my grandpa and stuff for the wedding and stuff, and she's like, you have come a long way. She's like, a couple months ago you were totally against it, and now she's like, you're okay with it. But I also think that I think my dad and I need a goodbye in a way, like a final, like, solid line. um
Right.
so I'm making that for my dad and I, at least. um it's hard work. It's a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But also, like, for me, my job of 14 years is coming to an end. that I've worked a long time at.
Yeah.
um, how I met you. That's how I met you. And I'm grateful that I met you so many years ago. And,
Well, somebody's got to be grateful they met me.
there are two stories I like to tell. And because everyone always looks at me because I have very nerdy tattoos and I'm very open about being nerdy. And that's just who I am. And I go, I would not be this way if it wasn't for my best friend. I go, my best friend taught me one thing. Never hide what I'm interested in.
Yep.
And it's okay to be interested in weird stuff because there's other people like you. Like if you hadn't told me, "Hey, you need to come with me to this," I would not have 3 Lord of the Rings tattoos on my body. Like
Yeah, I mean, and
you
I
know.
think that's an important thing, though, is that, it's being fully who you are in every aspect of
Yes.
life. It's people shouldn't be ashamed and shouldn't be afraid to be themselves, because if you're not being yourself 100% of the time, you're being dishonest to yourself,
Yeah.
and it's disrespectful to you.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it, is that if you're not 100% yourself, then you're disrespecting yourself, and that's not cool.
No. And
Like,
that's
everyone's got things they're not fond of about themselves. Trust me, I've got plenty.
oh yeah,
But
everybody does.
you know what? I'm always going to be me. There's
Yeah.
nothing that'll change that.
Yeah. And even now at 30, still having to kind of rediscover myself in a weird way, especially like with doing this podcast with you and everything I have going on in my life. I
Yeah.
have to not back down, and I have to know that this is what I want to do, and I can't go back. There's a lot of back and forth in the beginning of like, should I quit my job? Should I not quit my job? And it's like, you know what? I'm quitting my job. Like,
Yeah.
and it's I've worked really hard to get to where I'm at, to get to this point to where I can go this next step in life, and I just have to trust the process even though the process is very hard. Um right now it's very very hard, but I'm thankful for the people in my life that I've learned these lessons from, to just kind of keep going and always be me and stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the favorite things I like to, because they're like, how are you this nerdy? And I'm just like, well, I met someone almost 10 years ago who showed me that, it's okay.
Yeah. And
It's okay.
I think that's something as a culture that we need to, put more emphasis on, is, it's okay to love what you love, and to,
Yeah.
as long as it's not hurting anyone, and just
Yeah, who cares?
do what you do.
Who cares? Who
So,
cares?
'cause I mean,
So what would you say the cards meant together?
uh, we got into our conversation. I don't remember what your card was.
It's the High Priestess. High Priestess. I The way I would interpret it is the inner work that you are doing. It's been a long journey, but you need to keep going. It's paying off, and it's okay to kind of step back and reflect on the path that you've taken. It's not done yet, but you've come a long way and you've worked really hard
Yeah,
to get
I can see
to
that.
where you're at.
I can see
But
that. I mean, growth isn't linear,
no, it is not.
but I'd say, keep on kicking ass, and
Taking
keep
names.
keep on keeping on. Yeah.
Keep kicking ass and taking names. Oh,
So I think that
that wraps it up for
wraps
this
us up
episode.
here. If you guys want our reviews and stuff, that'll be out next week.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
If you don't, you'll have to listen to us in another 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. We'll be talking about spirit animals and totems and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where we're at. That's where we're going, and I think we should just work together and push forward and do
Yeah.
what we can to be better people.
Yes. Especially with the world being as shitty as it is.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and I hope everyone has a wonderful Valentine's Day if you celebrate Valentine's Day, if that's something that you and your partner do. We're
we're
actually
partners for our
partners. Yeah.
poly listeners.
Yeah. Well, like, so you know me, I normally don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but I had a weird epiphany. I looked at my fiance and I was like, this is our last Valentine's that we're not married. Like, I was like, I had a weird moment. So we're going to go paint
Yeah.
pottery and celebrate Valentine's Day that way.
Lame. You guys have fun with that.
Like,
You know me, I don't do Valentine's Day at all. So
no,
I
I
will be
normally
waiting.
don't. But I feel like this one holds a little bit more significance because it's the last one that we're not
Yeah,
married for.
that's fair.
Like, because I normally don't. And I'm just like, I feel like we should celebrate this. This is the last one that we're technically not married for. Like, I think it's something worth celebrating. Just doing, we can't go out and hike and do what we normally do. So it's like, let's go paint some pottery.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you celebrate Valentine's Day or any other celebrations that are like Valentine's Day, happy whatever those celebrations are. Please rate, review, and subscribe. We do have a Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The hands that you see in the picture on YouTube, those are my hands. If we've messed anything up, or if there's research and stuff about familiars and stuff that you want to send to us so that we can read it, our email is at thewaywardragons@gmail.com. So yeah, please rate, review, subscribe. Please tell a friend.
I don't know if Kelsey's mentioned it, but you guys should probably rate, review, and subscribe. You've said it like 6 times.
Sorry. I have like a spiel in my head and then I forget if I've hit that point in the spiel. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're
I'm
good.
sorry.
But yeah, so everyone have a wonderful day next couple weeks or
Yeah.
whatevs.
Yeah. Yeah. So until next
And
time.
we'll catch you on the flip side. I'm doing finger guns. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna go and take something for my allergies, and
Yeah.
it may conk me out for the rest of the day.
You know,
We'll see.
and that's okay. Lazy days are still productive days.
I
So.
got stuff to do, but it's fine. So till then, I'm Johnny.
And I'm Kelsey. Bye.
Bye.